right, welcome back. This is going to be part 9 of my presentation on the microscopic world. And guys, on our last video, we were talking about proteins and amino acids and how intricate and that is. I had used this one toy here as a visual to show how you got the polypeptide chain. You got each one of these is an amino acid and how it's useless like this. But then the folding process is what is needed to get this to actually activate. It's like turning on a light switch. But this has to be folded. And you've got all types of combinations that it could happen, but it has to, the right combination has to happen for this thing to activate. And it's really amazing because it's not just the folding, but how these, it must be, guys. I'm just talking to you from a guy that's a novice when it comes to the biology, when it comes to amino acids, and I'm just going by what I've read and stuff. But the amino acids touching each other there's a certain activation, a sequence that happens to turn this thing on, to turn this protein on, for it to do what it is supposed to do. And what they did is they interrupted it. They interrupted this process. Let's just say this red one was on top of the orange one like that. Let's just say this is a protein. Everything is folded up and everything is touching each other or not touching each other the way it's supposed to be to get it to function. Well, what they did is they interrupted it. Let's just say the red one was supposed to come up here to finalize it and to make it activated. They interrupted it and stopped it. It made this thing inactive. It wouldn't work. The protein was useless. And so it showed you that it's not just the amino acids in the right sequence. Now it has to be folded in a certain sequence. And so, let's just say that all these three, the green is supposed to be touching the yellow and the blue, the orange, and the blue, this purple looking color, the red. And it has to be just like that for it to happen. For it to turn on. And so if you take one of these off, it makes it inactive. And so it's absolutely incredible. And I gave you some of the numbers on how rare, and it was numbers that they gave, And so, but again, if you'll notice on the screen here, you need protein to make the cell, but you need the cell to make the protein. It can't come about by blind chance. It doesn't. This right here is proof that life did not evolve. It did not evolve. When you get down to the cellular level, the evidence is even greater that it didn't happen by pure chance. Now, I introduced you guys to this guy before, J. Craig Ventnor. Now, for those of you that have probably have not seen the previous videos, I'm going to real quickly go over his credentials here. He's one of the most famous scientists in the world. Guys, I'm not really sure he's still alive. He may be, but these information I got right here came from an interview that he did on 60 Minutes called Designing Life. I do believe it is on YouTube. If I can get it, I will put it in the description below. But this came from 2011. I actually saw this on television, and I recorded it, and I may even have the recording somewhere around here, but it is on YouTube. It seemed like I saw it on YouTube one time. But at any rate, he was one of the most famous scientists in the world, deciphered the human genome, created a synthetic cell which gets its instructions from a synthetic chromosome. DNA. Now, you guys ought to be familiar with some of this because we've just went through chromosomes, DNA, and stuff like that. He runs 2 companies which employs about 500 people, including some of the top scientists in the world, Synthetic Genomics and the J. Craig Ventnor Institute. Exxon, BP, and pharmaceutical companies have contracts with him. And so, again, that is his background. That's who this guy is. This guy has credentials. He's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's got a lot of intellectual smarts about him. But they asked him, they said, Mr. Ventnor, they said, do you believe in God? He said, no. I believe the universe is far more wonderful than just assuming it was made by some higher power. What? I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. How he could study what he studies and come up with such a ridiculous statement. And so now, but you know what? Notice what he said there. I believe the universe is far more wonderful. Notice that word he used, wonderful. And that's a direct quote. That's a direct quote. Let's see what the Bible has to say about what the statement that he made. Psalms 14:1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Now this guy that's supposedly very smart intellectually, he's a fool. He's a fool. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. Romans 1:22, professing themselves to be wise, what did they become, class? They became fools. They became fools. I would say Mr. Ventnor is a very wise person. You know, I mean, he professes, I mean, he's went to school, college. I mean, this guy has some smarts about him. But you know what? He's a fool because he don't believe in God. I didn't say it. The Bible said it. Isaiah 45:5, I am the Lord and there is none else. There is none else. So Mr. Ventnor needs to understand that there is nobody else. It's just God. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. Hebrews 6:13, for when God made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, what does it say? He swore by himself, because there's nobody else. It's just the God, the living God of the Bible. Now notice he said wonderful. Notice the word wonderful. He actually uses that word wonderful. Psalms 139:6. Such knowledge is too what? Wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain unto it. Psalms 45. Many, O Lord my God, are thy what? Wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are to usward, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Guys, God has done so much, the books could not even contain them. Isaiah 9:6, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called what? Wonderful, wonderful, Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Notice that, guys, the last part of it. Jesus is God. Jesus is God, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Now, this is what Ventnor says in the end. I think the fact that these cells are software, notice what he's using. He's using designing type of words here. I think the fact that these cells are software driven machines, and that software is DNA. And that truly is the secret of life, is writing software. Notice that, writing software, and that is pretty miraculous. Notice those words he's given here. Just seeing that process in the simplest forms that we're just witnessing is pretty stunning. He uses all these designing terms here and how miraculous it is, and he says, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. I don't believe he exists. And so, now, guys, believe it or not, we're going to stop right there. And so I'm trying to bring these in topical. This part of this video here is actually was supposed to be with the previous video. It was just getting too long, so I had to cut it off. And so I think I went darn near close to 30 minutes on the last one there. But when we come back, we are going to talk about the psyllium and the bacteria flagella. The psyllium and the bacteria flagella. And so, but you guys chew on this stuff, and we'll see you back next time. I love you and hope the Lord blesses you real good. Bye-bye.